It's the 2nd of April, 2026, in a high-frequency transit corridor in Wuhan. The morning rush is at its peak, and the traffic light at a major intersection turns green. But the lead vehicles don't move. They are a fleet of identical, state-of-the-art autonomous SUVs. The driver's seats are empty. In these models, there isn't even a steering wheel to grab. On top of the roofs, $50,000 worth of LiDAR sensors spin uselessly against a clear sky. On the internal displays, a single recurring message pulses in the cabin: system malfunction. Human commuters begin to swerve around the white vehicles in a panic. Some people get out of their cars to bang on the reinforced glass, but the fleet is unresponsive. Within minutes, the hazard lights of every robo-taxi begin to blink in a rhythmic, mechanical unison. This is the promise of the frictionless, AI-managed city. A transit solution designed to eliminate human error has just transformed into a series of immovable concrete barricades. This wasn't a coordinated cyber attack or a citywide power grid collapse. It was a silent internal error, a fail-safe state that rendered the cars unable to process their environment. Local authorities are quickly discovering a claustrophobic reality. There is no driver to arrest, no manual override, and no way to put 4,000 pounds of dead hardware into neutral. The algorithms designed to optimize urban movement have simply decided to stop. The vehicles are stranded in traffic, paralyzed by the very logic meant to keep them moving. This is the story of the stationary fleet and the winter of glitches that brought a high-tech vision to a dead halt. The paralysis in Wuhan didn't happen in a vacuum. It was the culmination of what technicians were calling the winter of glitches. October 29, 2025, Alaska Airlines records its third major network collapse in just 90 days. A global Microsoft outage ripples through commercial aviation infrastructure, grounding flights across the continent. The explanation is a generic IT failure logged in a silent data center. 2 days later, the state government of South Dakota goes dark. For 48 hours, every digital service from the DMV to local tax offices is totally paralyzed. The culprit isn't a sophisticated hack or a foreign actor. State officials point to a pair of mislabeled wires in a basement server room, a physical human error at the most basic level of the stack. By December, the rot moves from data to basic life support. Residents in Waterbury enter their 6th day without running water during a deep freeze. The aging municipal water system infrastructure is failing, and the city is forced into emergency repairs. In San Francisco, supervisors blast PG&E, calling for a formal inquiry into the instability of the public utility system. The grid is flickering, and the institutional explanations are getting thinner. The public is told these systems are becoming more intelligent and interconnected. But the reality is a mounting pile of outage reports and emergency repair status logs. These are silent internal errors occurring within aging public utility networks that have no manual fallback. The promise was a frictionless future managed by flawless algorithms. But in the autonomous transit zones of Wuhan, that logic was about to hit a very physical dead end. The local police arrive at the intersection with sirens blaring. They expect to find a driver they can instruct to move, or at least a door they can open. But these aren't traditional cars. They are sealed, autonomous pods. There is no external door handle to pull on the reinforced glass. The officers look through the window and see the dashboard glowing with a single prompt: system malfunction. They attempt to use the remote override, a secondary satellite link designed for emergency recovery. The signal is active, but the vehicles are unresponsive. The command center can see the fleet's location, but they cannot command the wheels to turn. The software has entered a fail-safe state, a hard-coded logic loop. It's a feature designed to stop the vehicle the moment it detects an environmental uncertainty. Now that safety protocol has locked the electronic brakes permanently. Technicians back at the data center pull the LiDAR sensor data in real time. The feed shows a perfectly clear road and a functioning green light. The hardware sees the path is open, but the software refuses to enter the space. In the pursuit of absolute safety, the algorithm has prioritized stasis over transit. Because there is no manual steering wheel and no physical gear shift, there is no way to put the SUV into neutral. 4,000 pounds of high-tech sensors and steel have become dead weight in an active traffic lane. The smart infrastructure is now just a physical barricade that even its creators cannot bypass. The 8:15 a.m. paralysis isn't just a traffic jam. It's a high-profile public system failure broadcast in real time. On social media, commuters post videos of themselves stranded in traffic, shouting at a machine that cannot hear them. They film the empty driver's seats and the LiDAR sensors spinning uselessly against a clear sky. The irony isn't lost on the public. This transit solution was designed to eliminate the unpredictability of human drivers. Now it has introduced a type of gridlock that humans aren't equipped to solve. In San Francisco, supervisors blast PG&E, using the Wuhan footage as a warning. They call for an urgent inquiry into the public utility system and its increasing reliance on automated switches. The fear is a silent internal error that doesn't just stop a car, but darkens a city. In the South Dakota data centers, the two-day IT outage is still a fresh wound. Officials there are still answering questions about how mislabeled wires could bypass million-dollar redundancies. It is a recurring theme of the winter of glitches. Whether it's the 6-day water outage in Waterbury or the IT failure at Alaska Airlines, the cause is rarely a master hacker. It's usually a mundane physical oversight. In the autonomous transit zones of Wuhan, the cleanup is proving difficult. Because there is no manual override, the city has to bring in heavy-duty tow trucks to drag the SUVs away. These are 40,000-pound machines that have to be physically hoisted out of the way like concrete blocks. The IT infrastructure log for the fleet shows a system malfunction that lasted for hours before the cars were cleared. For the residents of Waterbury waiting on emergency repairs, the visual is familiar. It's the sound of a high-tech promise hitting a low-tech reality. The smart infrastructure has become a series of physical barricades, and the only way to move the future is to drag it back to the present by force. By the end of April, the high-frequency corridors are cleared of the white SUVs. They are towed to a sprawling holding lot on the outskirts of the city. Hundreds of vehicles sit in perfect rows, their LiDAR sensors finally still. The IT infrastructure log for the day of the paralysis remains largely redacted. In South Dakota, technicians finally finished relabeling the miles of cabling in the data center. They use rolls of handwritten masking tape to ensure the two-day IT outage doesn't repeat. In Waterbury, the emergency repairs are completed, but the aging pipes are simply patched. The San Francisco inquiry into PG&E stalls as the public utility system prepares for another summer of demand. Back in the Wuhan storage lot, a technician walks past the fleet at night. One vehicle's internal display hasn't timed out. The screen glows in the dark cabin, illuminating the empty driver's seat. It's still waiting for a command that the central server won't send. Ready to start your journey?